Today's no good for going out. Did I say that yesterday as well?
Oh, shucky ducky, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Hope we're having a great day today. It is Sunday, the 13th of August, 2023. This is the last Sunday before Fontaine drops, so I'm pretty excited for that. Anyway, I figured, well, we don't exactly have a whole lot to do. I haven't streamed Genshin in about a week. We might as well do a good old-fashioned tier list. I think what I'll do is I'll do the alignment chart first, and then I will do the tier list pretty much like as like an afterthought of the alignment chart, because the alignment chart, I think, having had a look at it from like what other people have done with the alignment chart, I think the alignment chart is a much more interesting way of discussing characters.
You're in for a little
because you can use the alignment chart basically to like look at everyone from a more like broader perspective, if you will, as opposed to just being like, yeah, this one's S, this one's A, this one is B for Bennett, and yeah, and everyone else is like either like C or D. D's nuts, you know. No, it's not. Whereas with the alignment chart, you can really talk about like the characters from, I feel like, a much more nuanced and much more fleshed out point of view, and then from there you can dumb it down for everyone who just wants to see a tier list. So, of course, as always, I'm not going to be doing S, A, B, C, D, E. It's always going to be like universally cracked versus niche and strong versus generally okay versus niche, but even then in the niche, like, not really doing a whole lot. And then finally, you know, those who are like, what the hell even is your niche? Like, whatever it is, it doesn't seem to exist. And unfortunately, there's still going to be a few characters, I think, in Genshin who fit that particular description of like, what the hell even is your niche? It's like, I think there's supposed to be something there, but like, is there? I don't know. Anyway, oh man, today this weekend I edited 2 videos. So I am feeling a little bit tired on the working front, but they're both uploaded, so that's exciting. They're both uploaded. They're both sorted out. How many condensed do I have? 4. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. Oh, I think I overdid it. Crap. Okay, that's fine. Whatever, I think I overdid it. Alright, no worries. Anyway. Oh no, that's right, we have overflowing mastery, so I can do that as well. I have not been doing... I've sort of done the overflowing mastery a little bit. Haven't really kept... I think I missed a couple of days of that. But I've mainly been using it really to stock up on my Liyue books, because I find that whenever a new Liyue character comes out, I have like no books for them. And then I'm just sitting there with twiddling my thumbs waiting for the day to get books from Liyue. I think it's because like Hoyo do actually make an effort of introducing characters from Liyue from time to time, whereas they don't, like, we didn't really get a new Mondstadt character for a very long time until friggin' Mika showed up. And I didn't even like Mika, so I didn't even have to use that. We get Inazuma characters from time to time. Obviously we got a lot of Sumeru characters recently.
I see everything.
Oh, what the? But Liyue... Liyue is like old enough and yet frequent enough that I straight up ran out of those Liyue books. So we'll do that. I look forward to seeing what the new daily commission system is going to be, considering that they did mention that the commissions weren't all that interesting. So it'll be good to see what they actually come up with. Because, like, the commission, like, a lot of the commissions I find, I don't care. Commissions like those ones. The combat ones are the ones really that I... the combat ones are really the ones that are interesting to me. The other ones, not so much. Ooh, speaking of combat, I do want to try and play Thundering Fury Lisa. It was a thought that occurred to me, maybe it's something that could be good. How much crit rate do I have on Lisa now? Oh no, still 60. And that's with my... Okay, that's with my crit damage hat that has, annoyingly, 15% HP. Wait, then what's my Dory? Oh! Oh, crap. Okay, I knew I couldn't use that. Alright, coin flip then. I guess I'll coin flip my crit rate for now. Can't really do anything about that. No, that's... See, that's already high crit rate. As opposed to this one, which is like even less. This one's 12 crit rate. Don't I have one that's 13 crit rate? Oh, do I lose 16 crit damage? But I do get some ER back. Wait, no, I'm sorry. My crit rate's only going up by like 1%. Whoopty friggin' dude, never mind. Hey, Raider, how's it going? Ugh. Okay, when my crit rate is below 50, that's not particularly good, especially for someone like Lisa, where nuking is kind of important. But I'm kind of thinking that maybe if I play Thundering Fury, then I can nuke more often. Anyway, how's it going, Raider Race? How's it going? I still haven't gotten back to you about the Inaros thing. I'm sorry, I am so... It's not that I'm busy, I'm just procrastinating like crazy. And then like constantly thinking of other things to do instead of actually getting back to you about the Inaros thing. And the worst part is that was my idea to come up with the Inaros thing in the first place, and yet here I am basically leaving you high and dry.
Closer. You've been a naughty boy.
This may hurt a little.
Now you're testing my patience.
I see everything.
Finally got my goal of 900 energy Inaros. Jesus. So how do you intend to fill that 900 energy? Are you using dispensary on your Inaros? Are you just relying entirely on being a rage tank to fill up that energy with Inaros? Like, what's the plan here? What's the big brain strategy that we're trying to use here? Inaros, lol. Yeah, but you know, Raider Raids is an Inaros main. Look, he has thoughts that we dare not understand. Okay, Gavin, it is what it is. Okay, like when I meme on Inaros, I meme on Inaros for Inaros mains who are brainless and actually like don't recognize that Inaros has
Mind the side
arguably
effects.
one of the most boring kids in the world. But when Raider Raids recognizes that and still, you know, soldiers on, you know what? That's actually respectable. That's why I actually respect and welcome Raider Raid's opinion on any and all thoughts regarding Inaros.
Thank you for
You got Genshin massive updates to attend to? Yeah, exactly.
Astra Abyss.
But we will get that video out preferably before it... I don't know if I'll be able to get it out before friggin' TennoCon. Because I think they might actually announce the big Inaros rework at TennoCon. Because they did talk about potentially reworking him. I mean, they have to also... I mean, if they're going to announce that, they're probably going to have to also announce the great Hydroid rework as well. Which I honestly think is not as important. But either way... It's actually meant for Railjack to spam abilities. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's right. Give those engineers something to do. There's a thought I haven't said in a while. Let's make those engineers actually do something. Anyway, how's it going, Gavin? How's it going with the fam as well while we're at it? Especially in this economy, how's it going with the fam is actually a question of life and death sometimes. Okay, let's see. You prefer Stynax as the pilot. Is there a particular reason? Or, oh, I mean, it's Stein. Actually, I should probably update. Okay. I should probably update the video that I did of like the top 10 Warframes you should bring as pilots for Railjack, but I haven't played Railjack in a very long time. So we're not going to do that right now. Let's see. So okay, so here are the books for Liyue. I'm not touching Mondstadt. I'm not touching the Mondstadt domains. They suck. So should I? No, the gold is looking a little bit empty. Diligence is looking fine. Prosperity is looking a smidge empty. Alright, let's go for gold. Let's do what the Matildas did. And for those who don't know, the Matildas are the female soccer team of Australia. They went up against France last night. And it was a 0-0 draw that went to penalty shootouts. Now I didn't watch the entire match. In fact, I didn't watch any of the match, but I did watch the highlights. And my dad was watching the entire match, and I could hear him screaming and hollering while it was going. It was a very tense match. It was a very, very tense match. Now, what's funny is also outside in Darling Harbour in Sydney, it seems like we also have like a big jumbo screen to just like have everyone, to allow the public to watch the match simultaneously instead of like having to go all the way, I guess, to Brisbane to watch the match. And so
You're in for a little shock.
when the final goal of the penalty shootout, mind you, popped off, I could hear the cheering from here. I could hear the cheering from here. So that is... that's how I know that the match was very, very tense. And so that's why when I say go for gold, this is something that's often said in Australian sport. Go for gold. I'm just trying to get my 0.7% of an RS Prime usage time to 50. Fair enough.
Let's spark him right now. Emerge right here.
Remember, health comes first.
Come
This would also... What's also very interesting about this whole like thing with the Matildas is that this would make it the first time that a soccer team in Australia has actually made it to, I think, the semi-finals of any world soccer championship. Because the Socceroos don't normally get... The Socceroos don't normally make their way out of the knockouts. Although, I think the Socceroos managed to break out of the knockouts for the last World Cup. A World Cup where I think Germany somehow was flailing. I even remember like making a community post about it because it was terrifically unusual.
Try not to enjoy.
The doctor was serious.
Taking a turn for the back.
Emerge.
Like the traditional teams that normally do really, really well weren't. But then like a team that is not known to do particularly well kinda sorta was. And it's like this topsy-turvy land of like, what the hell is going on here? None of this is making any sense. I haven't done my weekly bosses yet. This entire week, I haven't actually done my weekly bosses. It's weird hearing an Australian call soccer not football. It's soccer. It's always been soccer. Okay. In Australia, we usually call soccer soccer because football is rugby. So rugby is, it's essentially gridiron without the grid or the iron, I guess. Like that's the idea. We have soccer and then we have football. To the point where like okay, so we have rugby, also known as NRL or ARL, National Rugby League, Australian Rugby League, I think. It's slightly different codes. But then there's also a form of football called AFL, Australian Football League. And that's basically aerial ping pong but with feet.
Surrendering will be right here. Right now. Emerge. This way, pretty little. Share my knowledge.
So that's the one where like you'll often see people just like lobbing big balls all over the place for some reason.
Right now. Emerge.
But yeah, but at the same time though, that being said, at the same time, like as long as nobody's feeling particularly, you know, pedantic about it,
Right now.
Australians tend to just use the terms interchangeably as well. So,
You're in for a
so yeah, unless you find a pedantic ass schmuck who's like, no, it's not football, it's no, it's not football, it's soccer, or vice versa. Unless you find someone like that, nah, everyone just kind of uses it interchangeably.
Taking a turn for the better.
Like that's the thing I think a lot of like foreigners don't understand about Australians is that even our slang, we don't actually use a lot of our slang all that often. Like you have to go out of your way to use it.
A sight to behold.
Oh crap, I screwed it up.
Right now.
You know, like you'll find that like even in my streams, I don't really use a whole lot of Aussie
Try
slang
not to enjoy this too much.
that often. Doesn't happen that often. You know?
You're in for a little shock.
Only by going out of my way to use it, that's when I will crack it out, but there's a general rule. Nah, not really. Now that being said, maybe it's just because I grew up in a suburb
Mind the side.
where, you know, Aussie slang was taught to us, but it wasn't like drilled into us as a matter of life and death.
I'm always watching.
If you go to like a country town,
Right here. Everyone help me.
oh crap.
Protect you.
If you go to like a country town, that's probably what's gonna happen. You're probably gonna come across like a couple of bogans, Aussie slang. You're probably gonna come across a couple of bogans who are like really rich into that Australian slang. In which case, you better brush up. And I say that as someone who actually grew up in Australia. Like sometimes, I remember I went to Jerilderie, which is a country town in New South Wales, and talking to the people there, I kind of had to also remind myself, oh yeah, that's right, that's what this means, that's what this means, that's what this means. Oftentimes, just understanding the context of the words that they're being used in, that'll usually do the trick as well. So you don't have to like walk in with a dictionary. But that's just the case with everything, really. Like, even if you come across like a convention of sorts where there's a lot of jargon and oh hell, if you go into like a Genshin convention or like a games convention and you see a lot of people using like all of the buzzwords, jargon, lingo, whatever, and you've never played a single game ever before, as long as you have a general idea of what the context is, you should be able to follow the conversation for the most part.
Right now.
And that's kind of the case with Australian slang as well.
Seems like an emergency. Bitter pills.
Right here. Emerge. Right here.
Try not to enjoy this too. Come a little closer.
But yeah, I wish the best of luck to the Matildas.
Mine.
They do have a home field advantage though, because the Women's World Cup is actually happening in Brisbane.
Right now.
Like right now, it's actually happening in Brisbane.
Come
Come a little closer.
Oh, I forgot that the Hydro ones are broken pretty easily by Dendro.
Emerge right now.
Taking a turn for the better.
You're in for a little shock.
That hit his ass. That went straight for his ass.
Reality?
Emerge right now.
Alrighty.
Good riddance, cruel world.
Uh-oh. Who of us should feel bad about killing monsters who used to be people? And Warframe,
Possible.
where we just straight up kill people sometimes? Yeah, true.
Remember,
Like Warframe, we don't care. We kind of just kill whoever.
Temple of Wisdom.
Surrender and I'll be...
Right here.
Come a little closer. You've been a naughty boy.
Ooh, I love coin flipping. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about Lisa's crit rate, I reckon. At 49.7%. It's not ideal. I mean, look, hey. The reality is, I think with the way that I play Lisa, I'm probably not really getting a whole lot of value out of playing Thundering Fury Lisa. I just figured I'd give it a try. I'll probably just go back to 2-piece and I'll be back to having my top 2% Lisa build for the time being. Kinda is what it is. But like, the thing about Warframe is that when we kill Grineer en masse, we're killing clones. And I feel like we as a people are conditioned to not really value the lives of clones as much. Especially if you never watched the Clone Wars. Because like, when we think of clones, what do we think of? Like Star Wars.
Emerge right now.
We think of like the Grand Army of the Republic, a bunch of
Don't be such a brute.
faceless, well, clones.
Try not to enjoy this.
Nothing lasts forever. Emerge right now. Emerge.
Did that seriously miss?
Seems like an emergency.
Grow, grow, grow.
You're in for a little shock.
Right now. Emerge right now.
That also didn't crit.
Mind the side effects.
Right here. Emerge right now. Share my knowledge.
You're in for a little shock.
All desire can be broken. I see everything.
Oh crap.
You're in for a little shock.
Emerge right now.
This
Is that emerge?
Alright, I'm gonna have to just
Protect
outright kill her.
Minutes to memory.
Let's spark things.
Taking a turn for the better.
I'm always watching. Follow my blade. Right here. Emerge.
Going out is tiring.
Dang it. How did that happen?
Mind the side effects.
Okay, how did that happen? Corpus of people trying to pay their debts? Yeah, that's true as well. We're literally killing working class people, but... Okay, let me think. No, we are actually just straight up killing working class people when we're killing the corpus en masse, aren't we? Are we the bad guys? Like, oh god. Like, Warframe and Genshin, they're two games that really make me wonder... Wait, are we the bad guys here? What's going on? Like, why is that the case? Why are we the bad guys here? Hold up. Hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right here. Wait, why am I not using this one? Oh no, that's the one I'm using. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my two-piece. God, never mind. I'm not using Thundering Fury Lisa to its full potential. And instead, I'm just like, and like the worst part is, I was randomly losing 200 attack for no reason. An attack is useful, so you know I kind of value that. And that's something that I kind of lost. All right, I've been farming. I've been making the very, very grave mistake of farming emblems and no, not emblem. Echoes and Vermilion for no reason. So I think it's time we go back to farming just EOSF Shimenawas and just move on. Actually, let's do it. Let's do it in co-op. We are not the bad guys. Hold on a sec while I eat a person's body and corrupt it into a minion. Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Let me just kill like 7 dudes and then like become the Lich King and like resurrect them. Like unironically resurrect them. One sec. My name is Necros. Let me just do that. Hold up. Alright, let's see what they're... Oh, are they really gonna bring... No. Okay. Okay, this looks good to me. Hell yeah! Aloy gameplay, yeah man.
The wind rising.
I'm not gonna get like a particularly high crit rate right now because a lot of these enemies will be electro infused, but once we break that, oh, it would have been nice if like someone brought out a high, if Ayato stuck as Ayato, but whatever.
Bow your head.
Kinda need them.
The hunt is on. Got something for ya.
All right, here we go.
I'm not done.
Ever seen one of these?
Relax.
Okay, what is this? What is this in-game? Oh. Okay, what is this in-game chat going on here? Right.
Come on. Enough standing around. Let's keep.
Okay. The good old fashioned sorry, that was my brother taking
There's
them.
no such thing as
That was my
good
brother
food
who
in
took
this
my
world.
phone.
Even
Gotcha.
the wind cannot blow on forever.
Yeah, totally. Okay, sure, mate. Hey,
Sure,
hey,
I forgot.
whatever he says, whatever you say.
Not to worry.
Shall
I'll
we
simply
continue?
send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was.
Hiya. I'll continue playing Aloy. Sack it, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I'll continue playing Aloy. Oh, good. We've got an Ayator on the team now. That's good. Because I was hoping to freeze some of them so I can get additional crit rate. And, like, really pop off with it. Whoa! This scary memes are so bloody fast. Wait, does scary memes get, like, a movement speed boost when he uses his skill? Also, rip Kaya.
Worthless as expected.
Damn it. God dang it, they freaking moved everyone away from the...
Ever seen one of these?
They moved everyone away from the goddamn thing. From my goddamn bomblet. That was annoying. And he also locked balls away. That was unfortunate. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I mean, we could try rolling it and see what happens. Oh, not getting anything. I think the brother just took away the phone again. I forgot how fast PC allows you to type. Well, keep in mind, you do need to actually master the art of touch typing in order to be able to type quickly. Okay, I'm hopping out of this one. This dude is clearly having a problem with his family. We have some issues. I'm gonna pop out of this one before Hu Tao's brother allegedly says something inflammatory again. Again, of course. Do you know how to touch type Raideraids? Oh, it's Hu Tao again.
Toodaloo.
Yeah, I just rarely use it anymore. I see. I mean, let's see. If we're gonna bring a Hu Tao, or someone is actually gonna bring a Hu Tao. Is my Dea on DPS build?
Silly churl, Billy churl.
Sack rate? No, she's not. Okay, we're gonna go. So we're gonna go Akumaru. Akumaru, give me back my EOSF build.
Afternoon tea.
I can't wait for friggin' artifact loadouts to be a thing. Oh my heckin' god, seriously. Like, I feel like I feel like friggin' Ziox right now when I'm like spending 3 hours gearing
Toodaloo.
just to be able to do this thing. Like that's why I have so many different artifact builds ready to go. But like that's both a good thing and a bad thing, because like on the one hand I have a lot of artifact builds ready to go, but then on the other hand that means I have to often swap between different artifact builds, and it's a bit cringe. Alright, here we go. Hiya! Ah!
Know your place.
Ah! Ah! What? This thing got its shield back? Did we really neglect it this badly? No way. So, for the... Okay, so you can't see it, but I actually... My Dahaya is now sitting at AAA talents. I figured one day I'm going to be using her normal attacks for whatever reason, so I might as well level them up, and here we are. Oh! Oh, that was a misclick. Oh god, that was a misclick. That was a misclick. God dang it! They're not interested in joining me? What is this?
This will end you! Suffocate!
You asked for it.
Keep this is over!
Look alive.
Suffocate!
Hiya!
Reinforcements have arrived.
I'm all good. I'm all good. Dahaya is a frickin' tank.
Let's get it on. Hi.
Hiya!
This will do!
Just tanking all the hits. Okay, let's continue.
Let's move out.
Is that a freaking TDS Kokomi? Oh, come on. We really couldn't think of it like anything else to use here? I don't know, I just think using TTDS on your Kokomi is like the it's like the boring option. I honestly think that's the boring option. If you could come up with a better idea,
Two clients,
it would be
three
significantly better.
clients.
We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss.
Okay, guess we'll just do it. Hare?
Toodaloo.
Grab more people.
Wanna come over for tea?
Yeah, it really seems like Dehaya was designed with Fontaine in mind, but it's just unclear what Fossilors or like someone else is actually going to do that will make her really, really good.
My people.
Maybe Fossil. Can you imagine if Fossilors has like a passive which is like the more health someone loses, the more energy they like. If someone loses some health, they get energy. And so like she ends up being the ultimate battery for characters that lose health. And then I guess everyone would sit here be like, huh, maybe I should have farmed Vorukasha's glow then. Or like, huh, oh, I guess maybe I should have farmed the Mareshase Hunter then
The desert's a
for
tough adversary,
Dehaya.
but at least it doesn't hide anything.
Because what is Vorukasha's glow
On
again?
the challenge,
It does
entirely
like
up to you.
because like all things considered, Vorukasha's is designed for her. Your skill and your burst damage is increased by 10%, and then when you take damage, that bonus is increased. The problem is it's that bonus that is increased, not like that bonus itself is increased by up to 80%, but it's like up to 80% of 10 or something. No, it's like up to 400%, but it's like up to 400% of 10. So it's like, wow, 400% of 10 is like another 40. As opposed to like 400. And then you compare that to like how, well, first off, nobody really cares about Dehaya's skill damage. I mean, I use it for like Burnloy and stuff, but not I'm not actually caring about the damage of it. And so really the only thing that, and so like the majority of Dehaya's damage comes from her ult. But EOSF gives like more bonuses. Like I've got 204. 204 divided by 4 is actually, well, that's actually 50. I've actually got the full damage bonus already. But I guess if you use Vorukasha's and you don't like really care too much about ER, then you can potentially like hyper focus on crit stats, I guess. And you can also like hyper focus on using an HP sand, for example. So I guess there's that advantage. But you like, in order for that to be the thing, there'd have to be something aside from like obviously Dehaya C4. There'd have to be something else that allows you to get your ult back pretty quickly, and aside from just stacking ER, it's currently unclear like what the solution even is. Oh, someone's actually dipped. Ha, yeah. Alright, this is just taking too long. we're nearly like, it's nearly 10 o'clock and I haven't even started talking. I haven't even started doing the friggin' tier list, and keep in mind we still have like weeklies to do. Can I even do a melt team to hire beam here? Like, is that even a thing that I can do? I mean, I suppose I could. Somehow bring Kaz along, and then we'll crack out the level 20 friggin' Ganyu, and get your Fav. Okay, should do the trick. Alright, let's do this. Born of Ice and Frost.
Fallen leaves, adorn my nights, one with nature.
No touchy.
All hail.
Oh. Access denied.
Wind strike. Gloves off.
Okay, my ult is not even remotely ready. That's not good. As a general rule, you try to like end it with your ult ready so that you can just start popping off again, but it's fine. We'll manage. Helps that I have Fav on Ganyu, so that's going to help. For Rex Lapis.
You're dead meat.
Oh, that helped.
As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows me.
Shake it, Aster. Born of ice and frost. Blaze over. Look alive. Can't handle your dream. Think you can bully me? You asked for it.
You asked for it.
All hail. Shake it, Aster. You're dead meat.
Just kill it already. Okay, so my ult is... Okay, now my ult is like the third in. Okay. You know, Genshin Scientist did a video. Farming artifacts is a scam. He's completely right. Farming artifacts really is a scam. And yet here we are. Grinding it out every day. It's not good. It's not healthy, guys.
Think you can bully me? Special. This is long overdue. Access denied. Gloves off.
Fallen leaves, adorn my nights. Into the wind.
For Rex Lapis. Born of ice and frost. Let's get it on. Hi. Think you can bully me? Can't handle your dream. Mate!
Okay. Probably could have just jumped there, but it's fine, whatever. Oh, I've been looking for a Pyro Cub. But they've been trashed. Okay. There's a small likelihood that that might actually be usable. Let's find out. Let's find out if it's actually going to be usable. Like, if it just lands on, like, crit... If it gives... Oh, crap. If it gives, like, crit and attack... Okay, we can play with this. If it doesn't give crit and attack... If it gives me something completely meaningless... Never mind. Like, friggin' flat defense and attack? Yeah, no, never mind. Absolutely not.
Think you can bully me? Shake and stir! Look at you, Fontaine!
This is long overdue.
Buzz off!
One with wind and cloud.
The wind knows me.
No touching!
Blaze on him.
No touching!
Look alive! Ha! Sketch! Diana Special!
Wind strike.
You asked for it!
30k hit. Because it turns out that Dahaya is meant to be a melt carry. I don't know. Ah! No. Oh, there were some new images that leaked of Riceley and... So, okay, so... one of the new guys that's coming, Riceley. Apparently, the way you're supposed to say his name is Riceley. Apparently. Apparently that's what his name is actually meant, how his name is actually meant to be pronounced. I might actually consult a French person on this, because like you look at that collection of letters and you're like, how does his name work? WRIOTHELSLEY. What the hell? What the hell is his name? How the hell are you meant to pronounce this, right? Apparently it's pronounced Riceley. So Riceley had his splash art. His splash art got leaked. And so did Nuvier. I'm calling him Nuvier. I don't care if his name is actually Nouvelette, which it's not. Surely it's not Nouvelette. Nouvelette! I mean, that just doesn't even sound French. Nuvier at least sounds racistly French. I don't know. I might consult my French friend on that as well. I mean, it could be Nouvelette, but Nouvelette just... that sounds like a chick's name. Nuvier, on the other hand, now that just sounds like someone who's like pretentiously French. So that's probably the name I'm gonna go with. But we'll see. We will see.
Everyone hold hands!
Mind the side effects.
Right now, right here.
You're in for a little
Oh, I'm not running from the refuel anymore.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Nothing lasts forever. Right now, emerge. Right now.
Whoa, where did this dude come from?
Mind the side effects.
Come a little closer.
I guess
Okay.
this is it.
Nuvier's splash art. Nuvier's splash art is friggin' gorgeous. Like, oh my god. You thought Al Haytham was like peak daddy material in Genshin Impact? Bro, you have not seen anything yet. Nuvier makes Al Haytham look like just some dude who you sort of vaguely hang out with. New VA it goes from like dad to like father. New VA is not daddy material. New VA is just straight up father material. Like, he's the daddy that you also have nothing but immense respect, and like you don't you don't mess with him.
Do your master's bidding. Game's up. Fun's over. Take your true form.
Really?
The hunt is on.
Ah.
Transfiguration.
This is a new one.
Time to go.
In summary, the simping for Al-Haytham has ended. The simping for New VA has begun. I am looking forward to New VA. His kit might be interesting, but I have no idea what to think about it right now. Oh, takes increased damage from bow wielding. Okay. Okay, I'll just keep going then. What the hell? 2 in a row takes increased damage from, bows? What are the chances of that happening? Okay. Where are we?
Got something for ya.
Cryo incarnate.
Busted. Wind Strider.
Take your true form.
Really?
One with nature.
Didn't even get it. Didn't get my ice rush. That was annoying. Okay, fine. Whatever. Guess we'll move on. I would like these to be harder. I would like these weeklies to be more interesting, or potentially even a higher level provides higher resources, provides higher rewards, but you actually have to genuinely work for it, pretty much. Like, it's not just some random schmuck enemy, it's like some actual like big dick enemy that will require some, you know, some skill. Okay, I'm not gonna bother doing this. I don't care. I don't care about the shared side thing. I'll probably just do it randomly later on. Okay, let's actually do this thing. So, I have prepared, and by prepared I mean I just basically went on the internet and found this. So, we basically have ourselves basically this thing called an alignment chart, which you can use to pretty much like look at all of the characters in Genshin and really discuss them in a much more, I guess, nuanced way, or at least a much more full form factor. So we can kind of go through all of the characters that exist all the way up to 3.7, which is every single character that exists right up until now, and then we can maybe use that as a basis to try and figure out our tier list afterwards. So I'm basically just going to go in alphabetical order. Well, not alphabetical order. I'm just basically going to go in the order that we have them, which I think is basically it's not exactly release order. I don't know how this is ordered, because Kirara is at the end, so this is not alphabetical. But anyway, so we've got the Traveler, who it really depends on which Traveler you're going to be talking about. If we're talking about like AMC, GMC, and EMC, And I don't think they're boring. I don't think they're necessarily fun to play either. I just don't care. Whereas if we play DMC's kit is like DMC's kit is like it's kind of not super duper interesting. He's kind of like not super duper interesting, but at the same time he's also like kind of pretty good. So I'm gonna put him in like around here because he's obviously not universally cracked. Like Burgeon teams kind of struggle to use him. Burning teams pretty much can't use him. Like Burgeon teams didn't struggle to use him. That's not true. But like Burgeon teams didn't really struggle to use him. But you could accidentally like set the plant on fire and then it blows up and well, guess what? You have no more Dendro. So that's why I'm gonna put him there. But like AMC, EMC, AMC, GMC, EMC, don't really care about them. Like they would be like over here. But DMC, I'm gonna put him over here. Albedo has a team. He is like niche as all hell. But I think in that niche he's supposed to be pretty good. So like yeah. So like his power level is still there. I haven't really played him because I don't have him. So I don't really have any like real opinion on his on like how interesting he is. He just doesn't appeal to me in any way, shape, or form. But I guess I've seen like people who play Albedo tend to like him a fair bit. Well, I mean they actually go for him, so that's probably the difference. Alright, Aloy is obviously going to be over here. She actually has quite a lot of teams, even if nobody gives her any attention whatsoever, and she is very, very fun to play. So that's where she is. She's not like universally cracked, obviously. I don't really like playing Aloy in Dendro teams, but you bet your ass, she has quite a lot of teams. Like, I've done like an entire video where there's like 7 different ways of playing Aloy teams. You've got like several variants of Meltloy, several variants of Freezeloy and Frostloy, several variants of like Fridgeloy. I'm not a huge fan of them, but you've got like a couple of variants of that, like this, yeah. And then obviously there's National Aloy, that's different. Anyway, Amber doesn't really have that many teams that I would ever feel like using her, and the thing I don't like about Amber is that it's so bloody hard to aim at the Baron Bunnies to try and make them explode when you have C2 Baron Bunnies. So I don't like her. I don't like her. Sorry, Amber mate, I don't like her. Ito, so the thing about Ito is, objectively speaking, he has one team that makes him really good, and for those who actually like to play Ito, he would be really fun. Problem is, I like Noelle more, so he's gonna be right here for me. Like, I feel zero interest whatsoever in playing Ito, and I just want to play Noelle instead. He's not like, okay, to be fair, okay, whenever I play Ito in his trials, he actually is kind of fun to play. And I think in like several events, he's sometimes a trial character, so he's not, okay, he's not terrible, okay, you know what, he's not terribly boring, he's like here. I just won't play him though, because I just won't ever get him, because I play Noelle, I prefer Noelle instead. Barb's has a few teams that are actually pretty good. So I'd probably put her around here in terms of like her general power level, like how useful is she. And then in terms of how interesting she is though, I don't really find her all that interesting to play, honestly. So she's going to be like here. Beidou is actually going to be very, very strong. And I actually do agree with the sentiment that Beidou is often very underestimated. What I personally like about Beidou is that, well, okay. I didn't play Beidou for a long time, but recently I've been playing Beidou a lot. Why? Because Senno exists. Senno basically is like the Raiden Shogun that actually works with Beidou, so I actually do like playing Beidou a lot, and also having that parry mechanic is very, very good. It gives her like an extra dimension of skill expression, so that's what makes her really, really good. So I'm going to put her like right up here. Okay, here's the thing. This dude, like, okay, this is gonna be controversial, but he's overrated as all hell. Everyone like tries to use him in every single team possible. The thing is, the reality is Dendro pretty much abandoned him. So pre 3.0, he would have been here. Pre 3.0, he would have been here. The most powerful and yet most boring character, and even then, he wasn't actually universally cracked because you would probably never use him in Freeze. In Dendro, you wouldn't use him in Quicken, you wouldn't use him in Hyper Bloom, you wouldn't use him with Nilu, and you wouldn't use him in Hyper Fridge or whatever. You'd almost never use him in Burgeon, and I guess you could use him in Burning. So, he's not even universally cracked anymore. He's like, fine. He's actually like, he's like here. In terms of like how useful is he? He's kind of like here now. And like a lot of people will cope and be like, no, you use him in like Aggravate. No, you won't. No, you won't. Why the hell would you bring him into an Aggravate team? That's absurd. So, yeah, he's like here. And he's also extremely boring, so I don't care. Alright, Chongyun. I don't really like Chongyun's gameplay. I don't like Chongyun's animations. I don't know. It feels like his normal attacks are just like even slower than every other Claymore character in the game. So, like the few times that I've played him, I've never really had a particularly good impression on him. And then also, what the hell team am I going to play him in? I suppose I could play him in pretty much every single team that I play Aloy in. There's always been that running meme of like, oh, Aloy's ult does the same damage as Chongyun's ult. So I guess you could use Chongyun in the same teams as Aloy does. But, I mean, I wouldn't play Freeze Chongyun because that just ends up being a shadow carry. So there's like less teams than Aloy, just as a baseline. I'd probably just put him like here. There's like a niche for him somewhere. Like around this column is like where there's at least a niche somewhere. Maybe, but I don't know what it is. Second, I'm gonna put him like here, like around Amber level. There's a niche for Amber and Chongyun somewhere. I don't know what the hell it is. Well, actually, with Amber, I guess it's for a Hu Tao team, maybe. But like otherwise, I don't know. Okay, Diluc is not universally cracked, but I think he's actually pretty decent. Generally pretty good. And then also, because I have C6 and he also got his outfit, I think he's actually really, really fun to play. So, I'm going to put him like here. I think he's actually really, really cool. Diona is absolutely perfectly fine as a healer. She's not necessarily fun to play. Like, I kind of just use her whenever I really need to use her. Having Sackbow does help. It does make things less intolerable, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So, yeah, she's fine. She's fine, she's whatever. Eula has like one team and that's pretty much it. But like in her niche, she is actually pretty strong. I barely ever play her because I'm not really all that interested in her. So I'm gonna leave her like here. Like I'm slightly more inclined to play Ito than I am to play Eula at this point. Alright, Fischl is in a very, very good spot. She has a niche that she's very, very strong in, and I guess you can also use her in a couple of other teams, but like it's really Dendro teams in particular, where she just absolutely pops off. And, but she's not, you barely do anything with her. You kind of barely do anything with her. So, it's not that she's, like, necessarily boring, but, like, what the hell do you even do with her? Just press E and swap off. So, there's nothing you really do with her. Okay, here we go, Ganyu. Okay. There's quite a handful of teams that you can play Ganyu in, but her charge attacks are very, very sleep-inducing, so I don't care about them. I have discovered maybe playing support Ganyu might be the play. So I feel like Ganyu and Fischl are pretty much like neck and neck in terms of where they are on how interesting they are to play at the present moment. Goro has a niche and otherwise he's just an EQ dude, whatever. I have Hu Tao. She is actually somewhat interesting to play. She does have a few ways of playing her, I guess. It's really just variations of the same team for the most part when it comes to playing Hu Tao. But otherwise, she's alright. She has less teams than Diluc though, because Diluc does have retro version, so I guess I'll probably put her like here. Jean, I haven't played Jean in so long. Jean kind of just fell off because of like a lot of other healers and other options that came about, namely the one that's coming right after Jean. But she's alright. I'd probably put her like here in terms of like interest to play, because she does give that auto attack speed bonus, which I like a lot. So there's that buff for her. Kaz is actually very fun to play, but not exactly in the way that you would think, and strangely enough I never included him in tomorrow's video. But either way, Kaz is someone that I often actually use quite a lot, and he is actually universally cracked. So he is going to be one of the first actually universally cracked characters in the game. Balls is significantly more interesting than Bennett, but I barely use him. I guess he would have the same amount of teams as Aloy. Yeah, I guess he would have the same amount of teams as Aloy for the most part. Kind of, not really. I mean, it's kind of difficult to play... you can't really play Freeze with the Elan, but you can probably play Freeze with... Oh, no, never mind. No, you can. Because you use his ult, and then you kind of just stay next to someone, and you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, he's alright. I think his power... I think in terms of his interest... I mean, I just don't play him. So I don't know. I feel like he's... It's kind of like down here. Nothing too dramatic. Then we have Ayaka, who's basically got like... Well, okay. Here's the deal. I only play Ayaka in one team, and that's Freeze. So like, she's niche as all hell. She is actually quite fun to play though. Not gonna lie, she is actually quite fun to play. But I don't use her outside of Freeze, so that's basically it. Kating got a glow up, but I don't play her. I've never really liked her, and Quicken didn't make her any better. But it did like give her a team that she could actually like function in really well, especially with Fischl. So I have no problem with that, but I don't really enjoy her playstyle for some reason. Claire has... Well, I don't even know what team she has, really. One, not really, team. She's about to get potentially power crept by Linny. I think... Okay, I think the problem with Claire for me is that her skill has like such a ridiculously long cooldown and 2 charges. So basically, what is it, like 23... Is it 23 seconds per charge? Christ. Like, can you imagine going boom boom Bakudan, and then for the next quarter of a minute you can't boom boom Bakudan at all, almost? It's like yeah, it's like actually... Let me just search that up real quick. I'm pretty sure it's 23 second cooldown, which is just... I mean, that's pretty long. Let's see. Jumpty Dumpty. Things taking forever. What the? Wait, is the wiki broken? Okay, if memory serves, it's like a 23 second cooldown, so like... okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, Sarah is actually really good. And I think she's actually really fun. I probably place her about the same as Beidou in terms of like how fun she is to play and how many teams I tend to bring her in. And I also use her more than Bennett. For the same reason, for the same purpose as Bennett, which is to give that attack buff. I'd much rather use Sarah over Bennett any day. And I think it's time we actually put some respect on her name, because she's actually a lot better than anyone gives her credit for. It's just that everyone immediately, you know, gravitates to this doofus clown, and completely ignores someone who's actually, you know, significantly more interesting and easier to use. Lisa is very good and is very fun to play. Of course I'm going to say that. Like, okay, to be fair, out of all of the Electro characters that got a glow up, I'd say I don't find myself using Lisa in like Hyper Bloom teams as much as I probably would have thought I would. So I probably like bring her down a little bit in terms of the like power level of like how much you can use them. Oh, by the way, there's Kaz right here. I probably bring her down a little bit in terms of the power level, but like, yeah, oh, maybe I should put him here. Hey Kedosaur, how's it going? Oh, hang on. Let me do that. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, so... Okay, so yeah, like Lisa's kind of like doesn't have as many teams as like Miko, I think, because I don't really what's teams mod check. Like it's like, okay, so on the right hand side we have the universally cracked. You could use them pretty much wherever you want. So prime example is Kaz, but then on the other side you have characters like Amber, where you're like, what the hell team am I going to put her on? What am I going to do with her? What am I supposed to do? So it's like the less teams that I think that character is useful in, the closer they go to the left. Does that make sense? So that's the idea. Whereas to the right, it's characters that pretty much you can just throw them wherever the hell they want, wherever the hell you want. So that's what that is. But yeah, as I was saying with Lisa, like she would be here if I actually if I find her like really good in Hyper Bloom. She is good. But I just think that I just don't think she's like as good as she could have been, and mainly because like her normal. I think it's mainly because like her normal attacks, and the fact that her lantern does have a pretty high energy requirement. Let's be real here. I prefer playing her in Quicken a lot more than I prefer playing her in like Hyper Bloom or Quick Bloom even. Like it just doesn't really work for the most part. You can do it, but it's not. I just don't think it's that good. Like Miko is a character, by comparison, who I would immediately put like here. I might as well do that. Miko is basically Lisa for. I never felt Lisa's energy was too costly. It's not like super duper costly, but the thing is, in order to get Hyper Bloom Seeds to work, you kind of do need to use Lisa's lantern, unfortunately. Like you could use Lisa's charge attacks, but oh my god, you try to use Lisa's charge attacks. You can sometimes use Lisa's normal attacks, but it's a little bit finicky. Whereas like with Miko, you could just use Miko's normal attacks and you're good to go with Quick Bloom. And so then, like, that's why Miko is like here. Well, yeah, Miko's there. Like, she's really, really fun to play, and she's pretty much useful in like just about any team. Like if you have like a flex slot, you can throw Miko there, it's good. 50 energy for a charge attack isn't that costly either. It's no, the charge attacks on Catalyst users are usually kind of wild. That's why you don't really have a charge attack on Lisa or even Miko for that matter. You do, however, charge attack on like Ningguang and Yanfei. Oh, do we have different MCs? Wait, is that oh no. Okay, so this is we don't have a DMC, do we? No, so this is just another MC, whatever. Okay, we're gonna ignore. I mean, MCs are MCs, that's the same. Basically, it's just DMC that's like here. The other ones are like here. Okay, let's just put this here. AMC. Well, okay, well, I'll do this. So, DMC is the one I play. DMC, I think, is here. AMC, GMC, EMC are like here. I don't find them terribly interesting, nor do I really think they have a whole lot of teams to use, or any teams for that matter, so that's kind of where they're at. Okay, Mona. I think Mona is actually kind of pretty cool. Now, she's not super duper... Oh, actually, no. Mona is... okay, here's the thing about Mona. She's a lot more of a confusing character to play than anything. She is kind of interesting to play, and I actually do like using her in a lot of teams. But she's not necessarily fun, but she's interesting. And she also fits in quite a lot of teams, including like Freeze Loy, including... I've used her in like Quick Bloom memes. I've used her in Diluc memes, Retro Virgin memes. I've used her in Ayaka Freeze, of course. So like, yeah, there's quite a lot of teams that you can fit Mona in, and you'll be good. You'll actually be good to go. So I like Mona. I think Mona's pretty cool. Okay, we got Ningguang. Ningguang, to me, Ningguang is like all Geo characters. Ningguang is going to be like here in terms of like, oh my god, how many teams are you going to be able to use her with? The thing is though, out of all of the Geo characters, Ningguang is the only one who's like up here in terms of like actually interesting to play. I like playing Ningguang. I really, really like playing Ningguang a lot. So she's really, really fun to play, but there's like only one team that I would ever play her in right now, and that's Mono Geo. And even then, theoretically, that's not supposed to be the team you play her in, but I don't care. I'm not going to play her in like a... I don't know, I don't feel like playing her in some other team at the present moment. Maybe there's like a weird Hyper Bloom team that uses her somehow, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Noelle is pretty much Ito, except I actually like playing her. So Noelle is like right here. Slightly less fun to play than Ningguang, mainly because Noelle does have kind of insane ER requirements. To the point where I pretty much have to rely on Goro and to some extent Ningguang to try and battery her. So that kind of drops her down a little bit. But she's still cool. She's always been pretty cool. Chi-Chi is a character where I have no idea what the hell team you're supposed to put her in. And I've tried playing Chi-Chi. I don't like playing her. I don't like playing Chi-Chi. I'm sorry. I don't. You told me that Albedo batteries Noelle pretty hard. Yeah, that is true. Albedo is also a great battery for Noelle. That is correct, apparently. But I don't like playing Albedo, so I don't rely on him. I have to rely on Goro instead. Yeah. Raiden Shogun is going to be a universally cracked and actually kind of ridiculously good, ridiculously fun to play character. I'm going to put her right next to Miko. They're almost the same in terms of like universal crackedness. They're really good. No one plays... True. But yeah, Raiden Shogun is going to be all the way up there. She's really, really fun to play. She's really, really good. You can pretty much use her in like whatever the hell team you want. She is the battery, so you can you can even use her in a Mono Geo team with Noelle and pretty much battery Noelle by herself. So that's kind of nice. So yeah, it's a bit of an unusual way to play her, but you have so many options with Raiden Shogun. Christ, just because she's just so hot. She's just so hot. Yeah, she's so hot, and yet she's so strong as well. So yeah, that's kind of the dealio. Okay, when it comes to Razor, he has one team that I would recognize him in, and that's Thundering Fury. Aside from that, I don't care. I don't find Razor to be all that interesting to play. Whenever I think about playing Thundering Fury, I honestly think about playing Thundering Dory instead. So if Thundering Dory only... So if Dory only had one team to play like Razor, I would put her like here. Problem is, most people don't actually give Dory the time of day. It's time we actually put some goddamn respect on Razor. Sorry, not Razor, on Dory. Because she's actually really, really fun to play as well. And she's got a lot of teams. She's actually got quite a lot of teams that you could just play her in. Off-field Hyper Bloom Delusion Dory with Tatalia, on-field Thundering Dory, on-field Dory Quick Bloom, or Dory Hyper Bloom if you will, Quicken Dory that unironically does a pretty decent amount of damage for a bloody healer, especially with C6. Hyper Virgin Razor, yeah, that's Thundering Fury. That's Thundering Fury. So that's the idea of, well, the initial concept is Razor, C6 Bennett, Xingqiu, and... well, DMC, but then later Nahida. You can obviously swap Bennett for someone who's far more interesting, like Toma. And so you would have like Razor, Toma, Nahida, Xingqiu or Yelan, and that's Thundering Fury. And you'll just basically be like popping off and doing like all of the colors. All of the color damage, if you will. And I guess if you don't have Bennett, then you're also randomly doing like physical damage. So he's an EM Thundering Fury user? Yeah, pretty much. Thing is, I prefer doing that with Dory, so that's just where I'm at. Shinobu could do that? Not really. Her I think her Electro might be a little bit too slow. It's not as effective apparently. It's not as effective, and I guess, okay, fine. I guess when you do it with Bennett, there is like this also there is that added what do you call it, interaction where Razor has self-infused Electro, Bennett has self-applied Electro, Bennett has self-applied Pyro, which means Overload, which you can then overload onto enemies, so there's that too. But fuck using Bennett. Okay. Moving on. Maybe. We have Rosaria. I personally think that Rosaria is very, very useful. She's alright in terms of like fun level. I do like using her from time to time. Like she's alright in terms of like how interesting her kit is. It's really like just, if anything, it's really just like how she buffs the team. That's about it. I don't even think of her as Cryo Shangling, honestly, because that would imply that she has insane ER requirements that require another Cryo character to battery her. No, Rosaria batteries herself. She's pretty much good to go in that regard, especially when you have constellations, I think. There's a constellation that gives you energy. So that's pretty dope. Otherwise, like, I just give her a 4-piece Noblesse with an ER Sand so that I can just constantly use her ult to give my team crit rate buffs, which is pretty wild because you're essentially giving your team up to 30 CV for free. Okay, I'll take that. Hell yeah. Kokomi is universally cracked. There are tons and tons and tons of teams that you can use her in, and when I did my Should You Pull Kokomi video, I only went through like 3 out of like the 25 teams that you could probably use with Kokomi. There is a dude who made like an infographic that is like a wheel of every single team that you could use with Kokomi, because every single element, with the possible exception of Geo, pretty much functions with Kokomi. So like you have like 8 different like archetypes of teams with Kokomi. There's like 25 teams, and Kokomi is really, really cool. I like playing Kokomi, so I probably put her like here. She's not as fun to play as like Miko and A, but she's cool. She's really fun. Okay, Sayu. I have no idea what the hell team I'm going to use with Sayu. I mean, there is that one team where you could run like Kaya, Shangling, Barbara, and then just keep running around, but like, dude, I'm not gonna do that. Mainly because of Shangling's insane ER requirements, but like, isn't Sayu just 4-star Jean? Yeah, except you don't even get the attack speed with C2 or anything, so it's like, I like Sayu less than, no, I'm just gonna put it here. I like Sayu like significantly less. She does have that. Okay, you know what? No. I'm lying. She is gonna be up here. She does have the rolling, which is just fun. It's just funny. So she has that. But aside from that, I don't care. Okay, Shenhe is niche as all hell by definition. Is actually kind of fun to play. Not gonna lie. Of course, her niche. No, that's very fun to play. Okay, you do you, mate. But to me, like, it is very fun to play, but that's like the only thing she has, which I guess is kind of how I treat a lot of these characters. But still, okay, I'll put it like here. I'm fine with putting her here. Like, I'm extremely indifferent about Sayu. But with Shenhe, I think she's actually pretty. I think she's pretty cool to play, but she is niche as all hell. Dare I say slightly more niche than Ayaka, because in theory you can play Melt Ayaka. I won't, but in theory you can play Melt Ayaka. You're not going to play Melt Shenhe. Of course, for me, Shenhe's even more niche. Like, Shenhe's actually here when it comes to me, because I don't ever play Ayaka, which means the only time I ever play Shenhe is with Aloy. So Shenhe's even more niche for me, because I don't even play Ganyu. So there's that. Alright, we have Sucrose, who is pretty much as universally cracked as Kaz, but I honestly find to be significantly less interesting to play than Kaz. You know what it is? I think it's just because, like, for whatever reason, I can't get her ult back in a reasonable fashion. Like, ever. Now, granted, I'm using, like, Fav on Kaz and Sack on on Sucrose, so maybe that's the reason. That's probably not the reason, but the fact that I don't need, it's weird. It's like I don't need to use Sucrose's ult necessarily, but yet the fact that I don't have her ult ready by the time I want to use it, by the time I get to her, really makes her feel like significantly boring to play. I don't know what it is, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't like playing Sucrose. I really, really don't. And now that I've like gotten used to the Kaz method of grouping bomblets. I hate the sucrose method of grouping bomblets. Oh my god, it's non-existent. Sucrose's skill method of grouping bomblets is basically non-existent compared to Kaz's method of grouping bomblets. It is night and bloody day. Jesus. Like, I will still advise navigating constellations for Kaz. But, oh my god, if you were to say you should get C2 Kaz because you basically have C6 Sucrose, except he is significantly more fun to play than Sucrose, you would have convinced me. You would have convinced me. But, oh god, I don't want to get constellations for Kaz. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And then when he gets his rewind, I end up doing that. We're not doing that. Okay, Tatalia literally has one team that he's good in, well, that's not true. Tatalia, for like most people, has one team that he's good in, and that's pretty much it. But for me, he actually has two teams that he's good in, so I'm gonna put him like here. I never feel Sucrose's grouping. Exactly! With Tatalia, he has like two teams that I think he's actually really, really good in. One of them, of course, is International. Duh. But then the other one is Dory Hyperbloom Delusion. And in Dory Hyperbloom Delusion, he's actually kind of hilarious to play. So I'm actually gonna keep him there. I don't find him like super duper interesting to play, but he's not boring. He's not boring. He is very much not boring. Toma, I've just brought him out for a few bits and pieces. I mean, he does have a few teams here and there, I guess, kinda. I kinda used him for like burning, just to try and keep the burning aura active, and then I kind of decided to go with the high instead. Yeah, exactly. Dory's the only one fast enough, exactly. I mean, there's always Burgeon, but I don't like playing... I don't really like playing Burgeon, but that's just a me thing. So, like... Look, when you have enough ER on him and you're running Fav, he is actually dependable. But I don't find him terribly interesting to play, so I'm just gonna leave him like there. I don't have Venti. But if... Like, I don't have Venti. If I didn't have Kaz, I'd probably say he's a lot more fun to play, because he is a bit of a cheat code. But, like, I don't even know what he does, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna put, like, okay, honestly, I'm, like, super neutral about Venti. I don't hate him. I don't like him. I think he has a few teams, but not a lot of teams. I'm gonna leave him, like, smack bang in the middle. That's it. Okay, Xiangling is very, very strong, but not universally cracked. Orpa is not universally cracked. She is also neither very fun to play nor boring. She's not very fun to play because of her insane ER requirements, and some people would say, well, just play better, but no, fuck that. When I play it with the Raiden Shogun, that problem is solved. So that's why I think Rational is the best national team. But she's not boring, because Guoba is, you know, a Giga Chad, and Pyronado is just kind of stupid. So I actually kind of do like playing her, but I also kind of dread her insane ER requirements that nobody seems to ever talk about, so I'm gonna leave her, like, right in the middle. I just wish he didn't lift enemies into the air. Yeah! Because you can't use him with Tart. If you could use him with Tart, then Tart would have, like, just Tart Venti duo team delusion memes. That would be probably a little bit too overpowered. Okay, I don't have Zhao. But every time I look at someone playing Zhao, he looks like he's really, really fun to play. He also looks like he's niche as all hell. But when I see people play Zhao, he does look very, very fun to play. But I won't get Zhao. I don't know what he is. He doesn't like... For some reason, he just never interests me. Or, like, by the time he shows up, I kind of feel like I don't want to spend money on the game and, like, save some money for, like, later. So that doesn't really ever happen. Plus, his niche of, like, his gimmick of, like, going up and down, if I want to, like, satisfy my urge to do that, there's a domain in the desert that basically allows you to do that. So, I have even less reason now to get Xiao. Okay, Xingqiu is... obviously, I mean, obviously he's very strong. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Obviously, Xingqiu is very, very strong. Here's the thing: I don't like playing Xingqiu anymore, like at all. Well, almost not at all. Not at all. He's not like here. He's gonna be like here. I don't like playing Xingqiu anymore. Why? Because I'm too used to playing another character called Yelan, who is, in my opinion, really, really strong. He's a lot smooth. No, he's the direct opposite. What do you mean? No, Yelan is a lot smoother to play than Xingqiu. 100%. 100%. Not just his thighs. Okay, you do you, buddy. But here's the thing. I was wondering why I didn't like Xingqiu compared to Yelan. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I really like Xingqiu. I really like Xingqiu. And, you know, before Yelan came out, I actually liked Xingqiu. I thought he was actually pretty cool. I thought he was actually really pretty fun to... Not really fun, but I thought it was actually pretty fun to play. But then I, tasted better fruit, let's just say. In the form of Yelan. And, oh my... C1 Yelan too, by the way. And, oh my freaking god. Yelan opened my eyes. Xingqiu's skill has a 21-second cooldown. Xingqiu's ult has a 20-second cooldown. If you run Sack Sword Xingqiu, you're scuffed. You're kind of cooked at that point, because if you do EQE, you're cooked. If you have to do EEQ. Problem is, for some reason, sometimes I can't just dash out of the first E to do the second E to try to do the Q before I collect the energy particles, which means if I accidentally collect the first energy particles while I do EEQ, I'm cooked. Just QE, well then you're cooked, because your 20-second cooldown on your ult, you have a 20-second cooldown on your ult, and you have a 21-second cooldown on your E. Now keep in mind, when you're doing your E, that takes like, what, a second? A little bit less than a second? But if you do QE, or EQE, while you're doing your skill, your ult cooldown is starting to tick down. Which means your ult basically shows up in about 19 seconds, but you can't do your E again, because there's like another 20, because there's another 2 seconds before that shows up. And you could do your Q if your rotation gets you there, but then you have to sit on Xingqiu for like another second or and a bit. Bottom line is, his skill has like just a slightly annoying, just 2 slightly annoyingly long cooldown. Now if you look at Yelan has the same thing as well though. Yelan has a 10-second cooldown on her E, and her Q has an 18-second cooldown. So you may think, wait, it's the same idea. Thing is, and I noticed this specifically with playing Freezeloy. I seem to have like a 20-second rotation on Freezeloy. So that's fine. Roughly 20-second rotation on Freezeloy. When I tried to play Freezeloy with Xingqiu, that's when I started to notice all the problems. Oh my god, his E's not ready. Oh my god, his Q is actually ready, so that's fine. His Q's ready, his ult's ready, but his skill's not ready. How did this happen? How did, like, as some people would call him, the strongest character in the game, have this problem? Now, people would say play Fav Sword Xingqiu, and I would do that. I would do that. Problem is, I don't exactly have a whole lot of crit rate on my Xingqiu right now. Okay, to be fair, I'm not playing Xingqiu for damage. I'm playing Xingqiu as like a bloom generator. I'm basically using him with Alhaitham right now. So, because of that, I have 17% crit rate, so that's not going to happen right now. But yeah, if I could, I would play Fav Sword Xingqiu. But, oh yeah. Is your Xingqiu C6? Yes. Yeah, my Xingqiu is C6. So yeah, that's my spiel. That's why I don't like playing Xingqiu anymore. He is, okay, to be fair, he is a lot better in like a... He's a lot better when I play a Nilou team with Alhaitham. Because I use him as the Hydro trigger for my Nilou team with Alhaitham. As in, I'm trying to use Nahida somewhere else, so that's where Alhaitham comes in. He's fine. But it's Freezeloy. It's my Freezeloy team where I notice, oh god, I actually don't like playing Xingqiu here. Okay, moving on. Oh. Sorry, not... Okay, well... Okay, Yanfei then. Yanfei is still pretty fun to play, but not as fun to play as I thought she would be nowadays because of the fact that she does have some pretty insane ER requirements. In terms of the teams that she has, well, she's basically a pyro character. Pyro carrier, you can use her pretty much anywhere, so she's about, I feel like she's about the same as Hu Tao at this point. Of course, Hu Tao doesn't have necessarily massive ER requirements, so I'd probably put Yanfei like slightly under Hu Tao, but even then, I'm more inclined to play Yanfei than I am to play Hu Tao. The character that I actually wanted to talk about next was Xin Yan. There is one team that I like playing Xin Yan in, and that's Burnloi. Aside from that, I don't really know. Yanfei energy requirements. She's got an 80 cost ult, and with my 130 ER right now, I don't find myself being able to use her ult every rotation. I kind of feel like I have to use her ult every other rotation. That doesn't sit well with me. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm gonna have to build some more ER into her. It seems like she's got some pretty crazy, pretty gnarly ER requirements as far as I can tell. Maybe 160 is her ER threshold? I don't know. Anyway, with Xin Yan, she's pretty cool in that one team that I like to play her in, which is Burnloi. Aside from that, I don't use her anywhere else. So that's kind of how I feel about her. I don't have Yoimiya. She's basically Pyro Aloy. I'm sure she's interesting to play, but because I have Aloy, I don't really care to get her, even though they're technically completely different. And as far as I can tell about her teams, I think she's very niche. Just normal attack memes, that's it, right? Like, you're not going to use her in some other team. So it kind of just is what it is. Is it possible to play Melt with Yoimiya? I don't think so. I think her Pyro just might be a little bit too fast to try and do Melt. You reckon she's flexible? I mean, define flexible. But I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe she's like here. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yunjin is pretty cool to play. I like her animations a lot, actually. And I like that she does... I have her at C6, so I like that she also provides an attack speed bonus. She can be slotted in quite a handful of teams. I've mainly used her almost exclusively in Aloy teams. Oh, can be used against many different kinds of enemies. Gotcha. Yeah, fair enough. But like, I tend to use her in a lot of Aloy teams, so I guess that's a little bit different. You can obviously use her with Ayato. You can use her with you can use her with Yoimiya. Yeah, Yunjin's in a pretty good spot, I reckon. Like, she does have her niche, but her niche kind of does fit in a lot of areas. Yeah, she's cool beans. Big Dick Zhongli is is like getting closer to being universally cracked. But I don't really know how I feel about how I like him in terms of like how funny he is to play. Like, he is cool, especially with the Meteor, but I don't really find myself doing that often. Maybe I put him around Mona level. I probably just put him around here. Yeah. Okay, Ayato. I don't have him. They just play themselves? Yeah, exactly. I don't have Ayato. I have half a mind of maybe one day getting Ayato for my Dehaya team, but aside from that, like, I understand that his shua is supposed to be really, really fun. I've never really liked that. Like, it's never appealed to me at all. He is a Hydra character, though. I think he's supposed to be pretty good in terms of like what kind of teams he can play in. So I probably put him like here in terms of the amount of teams he has. But like, no, I don't really care about his playstyle at all. I've actually started to level up my Shinobu. My Shinobu is sitting at level 80. I don't think she's necessarily fun to play, but I also don't think she's necessarily boring. Thing is, he either replaces Xingqiu or you can put him next to him. Yeah, fair. That's fair. But I don't find him as... I find Xingqiu more interesting to play than Ayato, so I don't know. maybe here. I don't know. Okay, the thing about Shinobu is, to me, Shinobu's kit pretty much is just her skill. What the hell is the point of her ult? I don't know. I don't see a reason to use her ult unless you're doing DPS Shinobu, in which case, go for broke. But like, is there actually like something that her ult is supposed to do? Because before Dendro came out, it just looked like something weird, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? And then when Dendro came out, I'm still left wondering, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? I just use her ult for frames to heal herself. I don't even get... I feel like her ult doesn't... I feel like her ult animation isn't long enough for her to get iframes. I don't know. Am I crazy? Because I do E, Q, and yet her health hasn't changed. She's still nearly dead. I don't know. I don't find her boring. I don't find her fun to play. She does have a lot of teams now. Well, not a lot of teams. She does specifically have Hyper Bloom teams where I think she's really good in. You can also use her in Quicken. It's a bit weird. I mean, you'd have to be desperate, I guess. Because Baiju exists, Yao exists. You have options, I guess, but whatever. Would you use her in... You wouldn't use her in a Virgin team? I mean, I guess you could use her in, like... I mean, we were talking about using Shinobu in, like, a Thundering Fury setting. Basically, what I think is called curry teams. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe, like, here. I don't know. I don't... I only use her specifically with... right now, personally, I only use her with, like, Alhaitham, and that's pretty much it. You originally used her on GOTs with Millilith? Oh, for real? Oh, okay, fair enough. Like, I only use her exclusively with Alhaitham. Because where I prefer using Dory, because nobody gives her the time of day, and also... I'm sorry, but Dory heals better than Shinobu. There, I said it. Dory actually heals better than Shinobu. Why? Because Dory can heal the entire team, number one. Number two, Dory's lamp actually heals really, really big ticks. Like, it's kind of wild how big these ticks are. So there's that. As I was saying, like, where I prefer to use Dory pretty much everywhere else, the thing is, Dory does have circle impact shenanigans. And Alhaitham is 100% a character that will suffer if I run Circle Impact. So that's where Shinobu really kicks in. I think Shinobu is fantastic with Alhaitham, and significantly better than Dory with Alhaitham. Because when I'm playing Alhaitham, I'm running around all over the place, especially in this current Spiral Abyss. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Shinobu right now. Heizo is very, very fun. He has specifically one team that I like him in, and that's DPS Heizo. I know a lot of people play Taser Heizo and just put him on full EM. No, sack that. You're basically playing Sucrose at that point. Just use Sucrose, dude. Like, what are you doing? No, DPS Heizo for the win. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun in DPS Heizo, but that's the only team that I would ever bother playing him in. Tegnari is a spread hyper carry. There's quite a few ways you can set up spread hyper carry teams, and he is a heck of a lot of fun. So I'm going to put him right there. Kole is specifically good in Nilou teams. Thing is, I don't like playing her anyway. Like, I will bring her out mainly just to demonstrate the Kole version of a Nilou team, but outside of that, I'm never going to use her. I probably put her, like, here. Like, she's got at least a team. Like, there's at least a team. Okay, with I've realized with Amber, Claire, Chongyun, and Thundering Fury, they're like there. Kole is like here. There is at least one team that I can think of immediately, off the top of my head, where I would use Kole. Except I wouldn't use her there either, because I'd rather use like Baiju and Nahida, but that's me. Candice has a specific team that I would play her in, and she is a whole lot of fun, and that is of course the Nilou team. So yeah, Candice is niche. Candice, in my opinion, niche is all hell right now. She might actually become like really, really good in Fontaine with a lot of the Hydra characters that are coming out, as well as like Fossilors, but we'll see what happens there. But either way, Candice, I think, is a lot of fun to play, specifically in a Nilou team. Senno is really, really fun to play. But he also, in my opinion, has specifically one team that he is good in, and that is his Quick Bloom team. So, yeah. Now, it's also even more specific because in a Senno team, in a Senno Quick Bloom team, if you run Xingqiu, you're going to end up losing your Dendro. Possibly. If you're running like... Okay, if you're running the Senno Quick Bloom team where it's like, I don't know, Senno... let's say Shinobu... No, not Shinobu. Let's say it's like Senno... Friggin... Maybe not Dory. Okay, let's just say it's Senno, Baiju, Beidou, and then you're running... Xingqiu. Guess what? You're going to run out... Your Dendro application is going to disappear. It's not going to happen. Yao Yao? But yeah, Baiju or Yao Yao. Guess what? If you run Xingqiu, especially C6 Xingqiu, you're gonna run out of Dendro. And if you run out of Dendro, guess what? Your boy's gonna start doing friggin' Electro Charge. You don't want to do Electro Charge. That's not a good idea. You want to still maintain a Quicken Aura. I find I can still maintain a Quicken Aura most of the time. Significantly more anyway with Yelan. That's also another reason why I like Yelan more than Xingqiu. So when it comes to Senno, his team is even more specific. I think you should use... Have you tried using it with Sarah? I've used him with Sarah a few times. Honestly, I don't really notice the difference. I think the thing is... When I use Sarah with like Miko, A, and Lisa, I notice the difference with their big hit. When I used Sarah with Dory or Senno, I think it's because it's just a lot of hits and a lot of numbers everywhere. I don't notice the difference. I'm sure there's a difference. I'm sure there is a difference in the killing time as well. But I don't notice the difference. I'm sorry, Sarah. I like you, but I don't notice the difference when I'm running you. When I try to use you with like Quicken Dory or Senno Hyper Bloom. I don't notice it. Is sustained DPS something you fancy? It is something I fancy, but it's not something I ever really care. Okay, when it comes to playing Senno, I tend to notice more when things die faster than the actual numbers that he's doing. I can't tell you off the top of my head how much damage my Senno is specifically doing. I can tell you specifically though, my Lisa can hit 80k charge specials, charge skills, or 100k charge skills. I can tell you off the top of my head, my Raiden Shogun will hit 200k charge skills. I can tell you off the top of my head, my Miko is hitting 50k ult ticks. But I can't tell you for the life of me what the hell my Senno is doing. I don't even know what his Hyper Bloom damage is doing. I just know things are dying and they're dying relatively fast and that's it. That's how I feel about Senno. Okay, Nilou has one specific team. And she is an absolute riot. Of course, as I will mention in tomorrow's video, Nilou's not a character when it comes to these teams. Nilou's an idea. But in the one team that you're meant to play Nilou in, she is an absolute riot. Now, if you have C6 Nilou, she has two teams. You can play Vape Nilou, and she's just as much of a riot in Vape Nilou. In Vape Nilou teams. So there's that. But in the one team that I currently have her in, mainly, being what's C6? C6 is the constellation where your health translates into additional crit for Nilou. So if we jump back here for a sec.
There are people.
So the thing about Nilou's constellations, just real quick, you have C1, which is additional duration on your ring, or additional damage if you're doing like the actual dance with the waves and stuff. C2 is Hydro Res and Dendro Res, but specifically if you're doing the Bloom Shenanigans. C3 is ult talent levels. C4 is you get energy from doing I think it's from doing the on-field like dance thing, I think it is, or maybe not, I'm not 100% sure, I don't quite remember. C5 is skill talent levels, which actually becomes important if you're doing the on-field dance with the on-field dancing thing. And then C6, for every 1000 points of your HP, Nilu's crit rate and crit damage will be increased by 0.6% and 1.2% respectively. Maximum or maxing out at 30 and 60% respectively. So basically, when you have like, I think the math checks out to about 65k HP or thereabouts. When you have like a lot of HP with Nilu, which you will, that'll happen, so you know, keep that in mind. That's a thing that happens. Your Nilu gets 30% crit rate and 60% crit damage for free, which is kind of wild. And then you pair it with weapons like friggin' Primordial Jade Cutter, and there's another 40 right there. So yeah, C6 Nilu is kind of wild. And she does end up becoming quite a bit of a riot, yeah. Okay, Layla. I've been playing Layla a fair bit right now, trying to understand her and getting ready for Frostloy. She's interesting, I'd say. She's interesting. I'm only ever gonna play her in Frostloy, so I probably just like put her like here. I probably just like, oh my god, poor Xin Yan is like all the way in the back. She's getting covered by everyone. Let's do that. I probably put Layla like here. And it's only because like I'd only play her in Frostloy. I suppose you could play her in like some other teams, but I don't really care. Nahida is broken and also very, very fun to play. So we'll just put her here. I don't think I need to say anything else. She's really, really good. Faruzan. Faruzan has one specific team that she's in, and that's going to be an animo team. I've played her a few times, mainly in like Scary Memes' trial. She seems sort of interesting, but it's really just the fact that like her ER requirements are so insanely high until you get C6, I guess, or C4 maybe, that like, I don't really care. I'm just gonna leave her here. Scary Memes, I don't like playing him. I don't like him as a person. I don't know. Like I have no thoughts. I have no thoughts about him. He's also like a hyper carry, so he's kind of like here. He is interesting. Look, he can fly. He is interesting. We'll just leave him here. I don't really have a whole lot of... Yeah, I don't really have like a whole lot of thoughts with Scary Memes. Okay, Alhaitham is a very interesting character to play, and he is kind of fun to play as well. I'm gonna leave him like here. Yeah, when Daddy Alhaitham pops off, he pops off. So yeah, I think he's actually pretty cool. I'm like, generally speaking, I'm pretty satisfied with him. Just keep in mind though, one thing that I often feel like I need to say, when it comes to Alhaitham, he is kind of basically Nahida, but without any off-field. He does do more damage as an on-fielder, I think, which is pretty good. So there's that. So like he basically he doesn't have the off-field capabilities that Nahida has, but instead he does an actually noticeably higher amount of damage than Nahida when it comes to on-field shenanigans. So that's kind of where he really excels in. It's really just trying to find a team, a quick bloom team with Alhaitham and Shinobu right now that doesn't include Nahida. That's just really the struggle that I'm having right now. Because once I have that, I think I'll like playing him a lot more, because I kind of want to be able to use him one side so that I can use Nahida the other side. That's kind of what I want to do. It's kind of like how people are like, I want to be able to use Yalan one side and Xingqiu the other side. I want to be able to use Alhaitham one side and Nahida the other side. I understand that Alhaitham's best team does involve Nahida, but at that point I feel like I'm kind of just doubling up for no reason, when I could put the two on different sides so that I can actually like use that kind of extreme Dendro application and damage, I guess, in terms of in Alhaitham's case, to be able to really like kick ass and chew bubblegum. Yao Yao is very strong and is pretty good. There's really not a whole lot that needs to be said about Yao Yao. She's fantastic. Thundering Fury, I'll hate them. Not the tech. Spread doesn't work with Thundering Fury. Not only does Spread not work with Thundering Fury, you don't really need to use the cooldown reduction of Thundering Fury on Alhaitham. Yeah. You need to trigger an electro-based reaction. Quicken is an electro-based reaction. Spread is not. I know. I'm a little bit disappointed by that as well, but it kind of makes sense. It makes sense. So Spread and Aggravate trigger Thundering Fury. Sorry, not Spread. Quicken and Aggravate trigger Thundering Fury. Spread, on the other hand, doesn't. That being said, though, if you have a high enough electro application, you can trigger Quicken from time to time, I guess. But like, either way, it's not the tech. Not the tech. Okay, Dehaya. I am desperately figuring out new and hilarious ways to play Dehaya. I think Dehaya is actually quite a lot of fun. Not gonna lie, I think she's actually quite a lot of fun. But holy hell, what is the prescribed team that she's supposed to be playing right now? Is she a forward melt carry? Is she a reverse vape carry? Is she a burgeon carry? Sort of, not really, kinda, maybe. Is she meant to be off-field pyro for Meltloy? That does actually work. That works. But like, holy hell. Like, I'm literally trying to like figure out 300 different ways of trying to play Dehaya, and I'm not entirely sure what the answer actually is right now. I'm gonna leave her here. I think she has a few teams where she could be interesting that aren't Mono Pyro, which I probably would say is her most boring team. Forward Melt Carry is actually looking really promising. I'm just gonna say that. Okay? Forward Melt Carry Dehaya is looking really promising. Hoping Riceley gives her something. We'll see. Because if Riceley is an on-fielder, I mean, Jesus Christ, what the hell are you going to do with Dehaya then? Because she's technically an on-fielder. Mika from the Knights of Favonius, I find him boring to play. I'm just going to say that right now. I find him really, really boring to play. And he's also very niche. And that niche is not something I care about. So I'm going to leave him here. I'm not going to say anything else. Baiju is severely underrated, mainly because a lot of people think that he's not as good as Yao Yao. I think he's actually exactly as good as Yao Yao. They are like two sides of the same coin. Because here's the thing. Yao Yao's skill is off-field Dendro application. Baiju's ult is off-field Dendro application. Woohoo! Yao Yao's ult heals the entire team in a pretty quick manner. Baiju's skill heals the entire team in a slightly less quick manner, I guess, but, you know, he can heal the entire team. Bennett. So, that's really, really good That's really, really good. So I think Baiju is, like, here. I, personally, tend to play Baiju more than I play Yao Yao, and that's actually kind of because I really like his animations, and I really like the fact that just from his skill alone, I can heal my entire team. Bennett. So, I'm going to put him more fun to play than Yao Yao, but in terms of, like, the teams that you would use either, they are exactly the same. It's funny because Mika works with all non-catalysts. Yeah, but... You're not building most non-catalysts for physical damage, that's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. Okay, Kave. What the bloody hell am I supposed to do with him? He has like one team, and even then I don't even know what it is. I've played Kave once, meaningfully, and that was in one of the trial event things recently. Why the hell would I play Kave when I could just play Nilu? I don't know what he's supposed to do. Like, I understand what his skills are. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with him. Am I supposed to play Fridge? He's got cool animations, but you know what? No, his cool animations do make him a little bit more interesting. I'm gonna leave him like there. I'm just gonna leave him there. And finally, we have Kirara. I've recently been trying to fit Kirara in my Quick Bloom Alhaitham team. It's a work in progress. So there's like one team where I'm trying to fit her in right now. You can use her in a Nilu team. I don't do that. She's also pretty cool to play, especially from an overworld perspective. I've been using her climbing up rocks and climbing up walls mechanic quite a lot lately, so there's that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with all these characters. We got a lot of characters who are fun to play but niche as all hell. So like around this area we've got a lot of characters who are fun to play but niche as all hell. Around this area we've got a lot of characters. Her burst is really as strong as Zhongli. Her burst? I don't know. Honestly, I've not noticed her burst doing a lot of damage. I've seen some people do some pretty crazy numbers with Kirara's burst. I don't think I have. But I haven't built her for damage, so I don't really know. We've got a lot of characters around here who are also very fun to play, and I find that I can use them in a lot of teams. We have some characters who I think are supposed to be really strong, but are kind of boring as all hell. And then we have some characters who are both boring as all hell and not super duper interesting and useful. Not super duper useful to play. So that's my alignment chart. Now, if I were to go to tier list, my whole like niche and strong and all that jazz tier list. So let's just quickly line these up again. So we'll do the travelers last this time. Albedo is niche and strong. Aloy is niche and strong if you actually give her the time of day to act. If you actually like put the time and effort into building her, Aloy is actually niche and strong. This is actually correct. Amber is potentially no, I have no idea what you're meant to do with her. Ito is niche and strong. Barbara is generally good, I'd say. Beidou is like bordering universally cracked, but I'd say generally good, but like generally very good. Benny fell off. I think he's generally good. He's not as strong as everyone claims him to be because you won't really use him with most Dendro teams, as I mentioned earlier. Chongyun, I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do with him. Diluc is pretty good, actually. Diona is generally pretty good. Eula is niche. I mean, okay, no, Eula is strong. Let's just be real here. Eula is actually strong. Yeah, Fischl is actually ridiculously strong now. Especially now. Especially when 4.0 drops. She's gonna be kind of insane. But yeah, Fischl is actually kind of universally cracked. Ganyu is... backloaded damage though? Yeah, true, but it's still... But like, you know, it's still like 400,000 damage that you could use against like particularly tanking enemies in Spiral Abyss. It's a thing you can do. And you can also not necessarily backload that damage by just swapping. So that you have options. Goro is niche. I don't know if he's... Like, he's niche. He doesn't really do a lot in his niche. It's just... He does like one thing and that's it. I don't think he's strong. That's the thing. So I'm going to just leave him here. Hu Tao is... niche but strong. Jean is... fine. Jean is generally... No, we're going to add an extra one. Add a row below. Generally fine. Yeah, Jean is like... Okay, if we're going to do that, I'm going to put Ganyu like here. And I'm going to put Barbs here. Yeah. Jean is like generally fine, whatever. Kaz is obviously universally cracked, I don't need to say anything else. Balls is, from what I've seen, generally he's actually fine. That third tier look a lot nicer than the second tier. Yeah, but it's like, what, you reckon it should be like that? I don't really care. Like the niche and strong is like a it's like a separate category of like characters that definitely have like their own niche and stuff, whatever. They're more flexible? Yeah, true. No, fair enough. Okay, Aika has a niche but is very strong. Kating has a niche but is also very strong. But like is very strong in that niche, specifically Quicken. I don't think you'd ever use her in Hyper Bloom or Quick Bloom, so that's a thing. Claire, I'm sorry, I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do with Claire these days. Sarah obviously has her own niche. Okay, if that's the case, I'm gonna put Lisa here. Lisa is actually generally good, but she's not like just super duper special awesome. Like you can still use her like I said, you can still use her in like Quick Bloom and Hyper Bloom and whatever. Okay, Mona is generally very good. Ningguang has I think Ningguang Gio's in a weird spot. I'm just gonna put Ningguang in generally fine. Noelle is generally fine, yeah. Chi-Chi, don't know what you're supposed to do with her. A is of course cracked. Thundering Fury. I mean, look. I'd rather play Thundering Dory. That's it. That's my reasoning. People are gonna disagree with me. That's fine. Rosaria is not universally cracked, but she's really, really good, and I think a lot of people don't realize how great she is. Obviously, Kokomi is kind of stonks. Sayu, what the hell am I supposed to do with her? Shenhe has a niche. Need I say more? Sucrose is cracked, but like I said, kind of boring as crap to play. Tart has a niche. I'm gonna leave it at niche. Thomas fine. Venti's fine. Shangling is... Where would I put Oppa? Probably did the generally good category. I think I put Oppa in the generally good category. Because I don't think she's universally cracked. Because obviously you're not going to use her in like Quicken teams. Yeah, there's still too many teams where you're not going to use Shangling, and her insane ER requirements are kind of insane. To the point where you pretty much... A lot of people tend to pair her up with this doofus clown. No? Like, she's really, really strong, but you have to... But you're not going to use her in a Freeze team. You're not going to use her in a Quicken team, obviously. You're not going to use her in a Nilo team, obviously. You're not going to use... You can use her in a Burgeon team. I've done that. I mean, really not universal. Yeah, you're not going to use her in like every single premise whatsoever. The teams where people tend to use Shangling is like international and national variants. That's it. I go the extra step of putting her in my Thundering Dory team. At least I'm making the effort of actually using her in teams that are not international or national variants. Okay, I guess it depends on how you define national. People define any like Shangling Vape team as a national team. That's way too broad. Thundering Dory. Nahida, Dory, Shangling, Yalan. She works at Geo? Not with those insane ER requirements. I don't think so. I mean, how are you gonna get her ult out? You can if you can get her ult regularly. Okay, fair enough. Xiao is niche but strong. Xingqiu is universally cracked. Xinye, Goro, Exile. Okay, fair enough. If that's enough, then that's enough. Xinyan has a niche, but yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what she's supposed to do here. Miko is almost universally cracked, but not really. I mean, okay, look. She's about as... Miko's really, really good. I'm gonna put it here. Look, she's really good. You can use her in just about any team outside of, like, very specific teams like... Freeze. Mono Pyro, but that's, like, hyper-specific teams. Yeah, I think... Yeah, Miko is pretty... If... In the same universe where Official is universal... Miko is universal. Why did I even have to think about that? Yeah. Okay. Yanfei is fine. Yoimiya is fine. If... Actually, no. Yoimiya is either fine or actually pretty good. Depends. Maybe pretty good. I'm... Yeah. whenever I see people play Yoimiya, holy crap, she does a lot of damage. So yeah, I'd say she's generally pretty good. Yunjin is generally pretty good, actually. You reckon she's actually in the niche category? Fair enough. If that's the case, then I'm gonna put Yunjin there as well. Zhongli is generally good. What a lot of people don't seem to... Well, I feel like what a lot of people are maybe underestimated with Zhongli. Yeah, he's a big shield, whoop-de-doo. He's also 20% resistance shred. He's half a VV. Just by existing. I feel like a lot of people are kind of like ignoring that for some reason. So, we'll leave him there. Ayato is generally very good, if not actually, no, he's universally cracked. What am I saying? Shinobu is, in my experience, generally good. Ilan, need I say more? Okay, even though I did say that I really like playing Hazel, right now, I don't think he does a lot of damage. He doesn't do enough damage. He's a hell of a lot of fun in his one niche, but he doesn't do as much. He doesn't do enough damage, I think. Right now, I'm still trying to figure it out. Tignari is generally fantastic. Kole is niche, but he's okay. The reality about Kole is that she is niche in the Nilou team, but she is part of the most meta Nilou team in the game, which is Nilou, Fullium, Kokomi, Nahida, and Kole. Apparently, Kole is particularly good in this team. I will just defer to the Nilou mains on that one, but if that's the case, then yeah, she is actually strong. Dory is generally good, and I will not hear a word otherwise. Candice is niche but strong, specifically in a Nilou team. Senno is niche but strong, specifically in his Quick Bloom team. Nilou is an absolute riot, like I said. Layla is generally fine. I'm still exploring Layla shenanigans, so she's generally fine for now. I don't need to say anything about Nahida. If you have C6 Faruzan, then she is niche but very strong. I don't have C6 Faruzan. That's where I feel like she is right now. Obviously, that's mine. Let's just go with this, because that's pretty obvious. Scary Memes is... Yeah, Scary Memes is Scary Memes. Al Haytham is actually generally pretty strong, but not as... Now you're on the money with Layla, you reckon? Yeah. With Al Haytham, he's not quite Nahida level, so I'm gonna leave him here. Yao Yao is actually universally cracked. I don't know. It feels weird saying that Yao Yao is universally cracked, because it's not like she's doing tons and tons of damage, but at the same time, she is very, very good. Let's put her here. Let's just put her here. Drive for international even? Yeah, maybe. Okay, Dahaya. Niche. Yeah, true. Mika. Oh, I don't. Ugh. Everyone who's tried to build Mika, like almost everyone that I've come across who's tried to build Mika, doesn't have a particularly positive outlook on Mika, and I have no outlook on Mika, so I'm just gonna leave him there. Baiju I think is really, really good. Wherever Yao Yao is, Baiju is. Like I said. Sorry, not El Kave. What the hell am I supposed to do with him? Kirara. I'll probably put her here. And that's my tier list. Let's do that. That's my tier list. Oh, Travelers. DMC. DMC, pretty good. Everyone else, no idea. That's the tier list. Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting that like with Dendro's release, the strongest characters are a lot of Hydros, Electros, and Animos, in my opinion. The most useful characters just all around are a lot of Hydros, Electros, and Dendros. Particularly the Hydros. Like if I were to try and like, you know, order the universally cracked characters, probably, I mean, it's probably this. I still think Yulan's better than Xingqiu. Hydro is the key to Dendro. Yeah, exactly. Even Ayato, I put like just straight up like Hydro, and then okay, I am going to say that Miko is stronger than Fischl, which is also another hot take. And the reason why is because Fischl, obviously very, very strong in aggravate teams with her A4. Problem though, that doesn't work on spread. It's the same problem with Thundering Fury on Alhaitham. You need to trigger an Electro reaction in order to trigger Fischl A4. Spread doesn't count. Which means you can't use Fischl with an Alhaitham spread team, for example. Well, not really. You can't really use Fischl in an Alhaitham spread team. You can, however, use Miko in any of them. And I know Miko is technically going to maybe, not really, but Miko might do a little bit less damage than Fischl in an aggravate team. But she will do a lot more damage in a spread team, so... And then on top of that, you can play Quick Bloom Miko, you can't play Quick Bloom friggin' Fischl. As an EM off-fielder like Miko? Yeah. Well, keep in mind there's also going to be that new set that's coming out that's actually going to make Fischl, like, particularly busted in aggravate teams. But the thing is, Miko still can do Quick Bloom. Miko can actually function perfectly well in spread hypercarry teams. Miko can function perfectly well in aggravate teams, so that's kind of it. The new set that Fischl should have had all along. I don't know why they even came up with that set, honestly. I mean, with the exception of Fossilors is going to be an off-field, like, insane hypercarry that's going to be purely based on skill damage. In which case, okay, holy shit. Well, there we go. Because Fossilors is going to work with either Marechaussee Hunter or Golden Troop, and considering that Golden Troop has a lot of white and blue colors, I think it's going to be Golden Troop. Which means I think Fossilors is potentially going to be like a Hydro Fischl. Marechaussee. You do need to lose some HP though, or heal. And that's going to be tricky in a Geo team, especially if you bring a shield like Zhongli. Yeah, especially if you bring a shield like Zhongli, that's going to be difficult to make happen. So like, yeah. Oh, I gotta get my Primo gems. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of people, like, I don't know if I'll upload it onto my channel, because the fact that I'm putting Benny so low, people are not going to look at, like, the reasoning. They're just going to look at it and be like, what? Benny B tier? Well, this is just nonsensical, clearly. Surely this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Proceeds to downvote and move on. Meanwhile, my reasoning is perfectly sound. dude fell off plus L plus ratio. That's it. Hey, Soup, how's it going? Alright. Okay, what's the There's little Nahida. Which means... Is this bird up on the cliff? Wait. Oh, maybe the bird's here. Oh, there it is. Ah! Star always arrives late. Well, you kind of missed everything. Oh, okay. What'd I miss? You missed the tier list. And I'm not sure if I'm going to bother putting it on the main channel. But maybe I will. You know what? Might as well. Yeah. I'm in danger. You know what? No, I'm gonna put it on the channel. You know, I have thoughts. These are my opinions. And some of them are in fact facts. Whatever. I'll go back to using Gigi as a battery. You know, okay. Erotic Walrus did cop quite a lot of flack for the whole, like, using Chi-Chi as a battery thing.
There's no
Apparently, he
You're in
did
for a
end up
little
correcting
shock.
himself afterwards, saying that he misspoke.
You've been a naughty
He meant
boy.
Diona. For some reason, he thought it was... For some reason, he mixed up Diona with Chi-Chi. So, you know, sometimes I see, like, some people continue to laugh at that meme. And I'm like, I mean, okay, fine. He did kind of try to... He did kind of, like, you know... He did correct himself, whatever. I guess... feels a bit weird to still be, like, memeing on him like that. But... He is a prolific... user of the... Oh, to my left, okay. He does prolifically use the, what do you call them? Abyss usage rate statistics for his videos. This is something that he still does. And I think it's interesting. Like, a lot of people seem to be coming out against that now. Which I kind of understand. Abyss usage rates are like a very strange metric. In that you can chalk up a certain character's complete lack of usage rate to a variety of things. So, for example, I think in like the current Spiral Abyss, Sucrose was only being used like 3% of the time, which is kind of wild considering that she's a very strong character, right? But she's only being used 3% of the time. How the hell did that happen, right? Albedo's super underrated? Yeah, exactly, right? Lisa used 0.1% of the time. Really? But like... but like you look at other characters, like okay. People often point to like Baiju having a particularly high usage rate compared to, I think, Yao Yao. Like I think Yao Yao's usage rate isn't like super duper high compared to even like Baiju's. And so people are like, man, these usage rates make no sense. Because, you know, it is basically a percentage of the amount of people who have the character. What the? Oh. Percentage of the amount of people who have the character. Yeah. So, people who... Seems like people who have Baiju are very dedicated to using him, and it makes sense. Because he's actually really, really good. And yeah, I kind of understand why people don't necessarily like using Abyss usage rates for various reasons. But I will say, it is sometimes funny to see the Abyss usage rates, especially with this current Abyss, because the pattern of Bennett's usage rate, of course, went from usually around 70 to 90 down to like 50 to 65. So on that note, we're going to call it a night. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream. If you did, don't forget to follow and feel free to sub. If you're watching on YouTube now or in the future, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And next time, I think it's going to be Fontaine. So I will see you in France. Hope you guys have a good time. Catch you then. Peace.